So this show is dedicated to all the We sisters because one of your members is actually showcasing herself on the show. So today, we welcome Pallavi Desai. Pallavi, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on the show.
Yes. So this show today we have themed it threats one-on-one. Could you tell us about yourself and why you are the person for this topic actually?
Sure. So as you mentioned, I'm Pallavi Desai, a senior manager specializing in cloud security and cyber risk with over a decade of experience across cloud infrastructure, real-time data systems, and large-scale threat prevention. My path into cybersecurity, which is like Threats 101, which is related to it, which I'll be going in a couple of minutes here, wasn't a direct one. It evolved naturally through a mix of curiosity and a strong engineering background. I began my career in software development and automation, but it quickly became clear that performance and scalability mean little if security isn't built in. One pivotal moment for me was working on a digital platform where we saw how automated attacks could severely disrupt user experience and business operations. That experience pulled me deeper into areas like threat modeling, mitigation strategies, and secure architecture design. Since then, I have taken on roles that bridge the gap between security data and engineering. I have led efforts to integrate security into CI/CD pipelines and develop real-time threat response systems and implement preventive controls using serverless technologies. So basically, being in cybersecurity, you're always prone to different kinds of threats and attacks coming towards your websites or um, basically anything you're going online onto the web that needs to be protected. So this session here will be talking about different kinds of threats while mostly focusing on bot protection, which is basically protecting your website or protecting your customers from being attacked or being or dealing with fraud. So that's what this session will be all about. And what keeps me passionate about this field is the shift in how excuse me, how we view cybersecurity. It's not just a technical function anymore, it's a business enabler and a critical component of trust. I'm driven by this opportunity to help teams innovate securely while ensuring the systems we build are both resilient and sustainable.
Wow, that's let's break it down. CI/CD
That's very,
pipeline.
Yeah.
We've talked of also ensuring our systems are
security by
secure
design.
in security by design. We've talked of ensuring software is set up securely and all that. So CI/CD, let's start with that. What is that?
CI/CD is continuous integration and continuous development. So
Okay.
that is basically needed in this fast-paced world, right? Where real-time data is everywhere. Everyone have access to the data, but now the critical and the thing that gets really hard is how you can process the data. Once you have this data, you need to know how you can automate things. And just automating things means we have to work on snaps where we are able to develop or we are able to mitigate those attacks, especially as the technology is growing, so are the attacks. We have very sophisticated attacks because of, for example, AI and machine learning that is like booming everywhere, and those also scares me because that would lead to more sophisticated attacks, and we have to be ahead of the attackers, and for that we need something called CI/CD, which would make us develop faster and then start mitigating those attacks faster too.
Yes, thank you for that. Joined with me is Angela on the show, and I think she can take on the next question.
Yes, thank you, Pallavi, for the comprehensive explanations. Could you please share with us a moment where real-time data solutions made critical impacts in the decision-making processes of or business continuity? Like, are you at liberty to share how you did that?
So absolutely. I worked on a project where we automated a preventive control to ensure that all public-facing applications were properly registered with our central security platform before going live. The main goal was to reduce exposure from untracked or misconfigured services. We implemented a lightweight control using serverless architecture, which falls
Okay.
into the fast or advanced technology in CI/CD, specifically a combination of API gateway, Lambda functions, and cloud-based NoSQL database. Anytime a team attempted to expose a new endpoint, this system checked if the application had completed its security onboarding steps. If not, it is blocked. If not, it blocked the request and returned guidance to the team. From the beginning, we prioritized key security practices like enforcing least privilege access, encrypting all data in motion and at rest, logging every decision and outcome for audit purposes, and designing for high availability across regions. Was I
Okay.
able to clarify?
Yes. No, you're right on point. And so we began, and they will call you our sister. For people who don't know, that's women in cybersecurity. So I'd like to know, as a lady in cybersecurity, how have you seen the industry shift in terms of inclusion and challenges, and what challenges still persist?
I have definitely seen progress. There are more women visible in tech now than when I started. Like it was like a decade or more than like 15 years ago. And many companies are investing in diversity programs and mentorship initiatives. But challenges remain, especially when it comes to representation in senior technical and leadership roles, and the sense of belonging in high stakes environments. On a persistent myth is that cybersecurity is only for deeply technical experts. That mindset can unintentionally exclude people who bring valuable skills in risk, analysis, or communication. To create more inclusive spaces, leaders and allies need to be intentional, invite diverse voices into decision making, sponsor women for growth opportunities, and foster a culture where everyone feels heard and valued. I have had benefit of strong mentors and allies, and I try to pay that forward. Inclusion isn't just good ethics, it makes our teams and systems stronger. And I have been continuing to mentor other women in tech too, and I have actively been participating in volunteering. That way, I can give back to the community in my own way.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Actually, yes, got to know about women in cybersecurity from one of my mentors. She's also a leading woman in cybersecurity in the world, but in Uganda, she's the head of cybersecurity at one of the leading banks called Stanbic. She's called Diana Tukunane. And I saw that she had posted Women in Cybersecurity has a mentorship program that just opened end of July and beginning of August for people who are for ladies who want to take on like mentorship role, their mentorship roles, and also to become mentees. So for anyone who is listening who could be interested, please check out the Women in Cybersecurity pages for more information.
Thank you for that. And yes, just to emphasize on that, I am part of Women in Cybersecurity based out of USA. So I have been volunteering there and helping and mentoring other fellow women in cybersecurity with reviewing their resumes, helping them build their profiles, and sometimes coaching them in how they can grow in their careers. So those are the things I have been doing
No, thank
as
you.
part of it.
I'm signing up for this cohort. Hopefully we get matched.
Definitely.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, you're clearly passionate about automation. What advice would you give teams struggling to balance speed with security in CI/CD pipelines? And have you experienced this tension in work in your work? If you've had, please share and how you resolved it.
Absolutely. I have seen that tension firsthand. Teams want to move fast, but they also want to stay secure. The key is to stop treating those goals as opposites. Firstly, I would say that. My biggest advice is to embed security early and make it part of the developer experience. That means automating checks like static analysis, dependency scanning, and configuration validation directly in the CI CD pipeline. Just as important, the feedback should be fast, clear, and actionable. In one project, we automated pre deployment checks using native CI CD integrations. Every code change was scanned for common issues and validated for platform compliance. Instead of slowing teams down, it actually gave them confidence that what they were shipping met our standards. We also invested in enablement, helping developers understand the why behind the controls and giving them dashboards to track their own progress. That created shared ownership and made security feel like a built in feature, not an external gate.
Does that, engaging more with the developers and, giving them the dashboard to actually clearly see exactly what is going on and what is going on, right? Does that help in terms of improving their communication with you and also taking these controls seriously?
Definitely, right? So before it was like two teams working in silos where security would just say, okay, your control is inefficient, and they'll just send it back to you. And then you're figuring out, being a development team, trying to know, what am I missing? I think from my end, everything looks good, right? It's the perspective of the development team.
If it's not broke, don't fix it. They're like, oh,
Exactly.
my code is working.
Yeah, it's working, so there is no issue. So what are we talking here? So now we broke that wall between them, and then we brought both the teams together, where with the dashboards, they understand both of them are seeing the same data, same metrics. So now it's more about how you're articulating, right? And this is actually adding more advantage for the teams to work together because you're bringing in two different perspectives. One, it's the same data, it's the same metrics. The third component here is how the security is viewing this. And two, or the same point, where the development team is viewing this data. Now we have the conversations, communication, brainstorming sessions, which is making much more impact and leading for better products.
I'm sure
I
also
would say
improves
better secure products is what I would say.
and also resilience because
Yes.
you built security in. So do you feel like a DevSecOps personnel should be key in any organization for that synergy to happen?
DevSecOps, yes, definitely. Because that's where they understand both the technical security of it, and then they're operating at the level of expectations to ensure we provide that customer satisfaction. So DevSecOps is definitely a needed thing. And also, as I said, it should never always be seen as cyber technical or development team. The DevSecOps is building that bridge.
Sure. So in your experience, how can organizations ensure that security is not an afterthought for sure, as they're building these automated systems and deploying code at scale?
I would say that's a great question. In fast-moving environments, it's easy for security to lag behind. But in my experience, the key is to make it part of the foundation, not a final checkpoint. I think that's the core theme I have been talking throughout my session, where I'm saying security should not be the external gate or the final checkpoint. Instead, it should be integral part of the development of any application. That means building security in both the architecture and the culture from the beginning. To do that, organizations need to treat security as a shared responsibility across engineering, not just the job of a separate team. That answers my DevSecOps question, right? Security control should be automated, measurable, and invisible when working well, just like good code. That's how we want the controls to be as well. So if I had to pick three non-negotiables for dev teams, it would be one, shift left with security checks. Integrate static code analysis, secret scanning, and config validation into the CI/CD pipeline so issues are caught early. Least privilege everywhere. That's the second one. Whether it's IAM policies, service to service communication, or access keys, restrict access by default and elevate only when needed. And the last one, observability and logging. You can't protect when you can't see. Every critical action should be logged and monitored to detect anomalies and support incident response. So I definitely would recommend the teams to bake in all these three things and make security the integral part of any application development.
Sure.
So that's interesting. Now, in terms of incidents response and detection, what have you found very key in terms of implementation and apart from the culture itself, starting from, the company culture, because definitely there's nothing you can do without the buy-in from management. At the bottom level, day-to-day operations, what have you found key in terms of incident response that every team needs to consider?
For me, the first and foremost skill I would look for when it comes to incident response is communication. Because when it comes to incident response, you have varied levels of members on the call. If it is an incident, definitely you have like the developer, you have managers, then you have leadership teams, everyone. So the key here is when you're able to articulate the issue based on that group. You cannot go into a leadership group and talk about all the technical details saying there is an issue here, the bug here, right? At that point, you have to be able to communicate and help them better understand at the high level what is the issue, what is the solution, what are the next steps, how are we resolving it. These are the key things they have to follow just to articulate. But when it comes to your own development cohort, then you can discuss and brainstorm the criticalities of it, going into even making a Python script change or a code change, whatever, right? Those should be the details at the development group level. So definitely communication is the key for any kind of incident response, is what I would say.
Does it depend on also the maturity level of the organization also?
At any organization maturity level, I think the hierarchy remains the same. Even if you take like 10 people company, right? You still have the CEO, you still have like multiple layers by the time it get to the two developers. So though the CEO there is very hands-on and the person is more accessible compared to bigger organizations, but still the CEO cannot sit with us to resolve the issue. Rather, the person would be more interested in how we resolved it, what was the issue, and was it taken care or not. So at this point,
how is it affecting the money?
exactly. So yeah, that's how I would say. In whether it is big or small, the hierarchy and the levels of communication would be the same.
Okay. Thank you for that.
Okay, so looking ahead, what excites you most about the intersection of big data, automation, cybersecurity, and what should listeners start learning today to stay ahead?
What excites me most is how the intersection of big data, automation, and cybersecurity is fundamentally changing our ability to be proactive. We are moving from detecting and reacting to predicting and preventing, often in real time. That's how data is helping us. We are moving, with the right data pipelines and automation in place, security teams can surface threats faster, respond instantly, and even learn from every event to improve future defenses. We are also seeing a shift towards self-healing systems, as I mentioned beginning of this call, with AI and ML, where infrastructure can detect misconfigurations or policy violations and correct them automatically without human intervention. That level of intelligence and autonomy is where I think we are headed. For anyone looking to stay ahead, I would recommend focusing on two areas. One, data fluency, understanding how to work with large scale data, whether it's logs, telemetry, or threat intel feeds. You don't have to be a data scientist, but being comfortable with data-driven thinking is the key. 2, security automation and cloud fundamentals. Know how to build secure, scalable workflows using cloud-native tools and APIs. The more you can automate securely, the more resilient your systems become. So, with that, I would say the future of cybersecurity won't just be about blocking threats, it would be about designing systems that learn, adapt, and defend themselves.
Yes, that's really interesting. If you're looking back, definitely you've been in the industry for a decade or so.
Yeah.
I don't want to speak the actual number. People might think you're too old.
Thank you.
So,
I appreciate that.
so what has been those key metrics which you look at and you'll be like, this is key for someone to learn at the beginning and build on top of that, especially when it comes to threat response?
For threat response, I would say problem solving and eye for detail. Those are the two things I would say for any person who is in cybersecurity to be focused on. And the reason is problem solving. One, as I said, threats come in different forms. You should be on your toes to figure out like what threat we are trying to mitigate and how are we mitigating and do we have a solution today? If not, we need to brainstorm. We need to come up with ideas on how fast we can solve that attack, or if not, mitigating it completely, at least we need to know we have systems that would block that threat. And yeah, that's where I would keep it as.
And
Thank you.
which framework would you recommend to start with, especially when it comes to response?
The threat response?
Yeah.
It depends, I would say. Right now, if we are talking about all the self-healing mechanism and the future of cybersecurity, I would say the go-to would be Python, because that's the scripting language that helps build, and that's where machine learning, AI, everything is built upon. If you have an understanding of Python, I think you can work wonders. At the same time, some part of me thinks because AI is already doing everything by itself, prompt engineering is what we need to focus on for the next few or for the next coming future. And when I say prompt engineering, it's about asking right questions. Even if you're using AI, right? It's already coding for you. It's everything is available out there. You just have to know how efficiently you can ask a question, provide all the inputs so you get the desired output. So definitely prompt engineering too.
Yes, as you can see, I'm overwriting because I might need these notes in the coming future. Yes. As you notice, I'm looking at an individual who is young, and also you've already talked about it. So first of all, I would like to thank you for coming on the show. And definitely, we've already picked a lot concerning defense in depth and ensuring that teams work coordinatively to ensure more security is involved. I've used ensure like 3 or 5 times. Maybe my English bundles are getting over.
You're good.
Yeah, but all in all, we say this with a great
Appreciation.
appreciation. Thank you for coming on the show, being part of this episode. We've been doing this this now the 78th episode, so it's really impressive what we've achieved, and talking to individuals like you who have pushed the industry and are always eager to share information with the rest of the world is remarkable, to say the least. So thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you
Thank
for
you
your
so
time,
much.
Pallavi, and for being such a great inspiration.
Sure. Thank you so much for having me. And I'm privileged to be here. If there is one thing I have learned, it's that security works best when it's built in, not bolted on. So
Oh. bolted
Yeah.
on. Because then I can
Yeah,
break the bone. Yeah.
exactly.
That's
So
a
I
good
think
phrase.
so with all the teams collaborating and with the right mindset, security would become more like an innovation rather than a roadblock we see like, oh, well, now we have to apply all this security around our tooling or our application, right? With the
Mhm.
collaboration, I think we are already like
Oh,
traveling together. Yeah.
yes, that's true.
Yeah. Yeah, true.
So I would say for all the viewers, firstly, uh, just stay curious, stay proactive, because we are in that cybersecurity world where we have to be proactive. We have to be
Mm.
always fighting against those attacks. So that's
Mm.
Yeah. Thank you for that. Finally, if someone wants to find you, see your work, definitely have some work in the pipeline.
yeah.
Where can they find you?
Please, you can find me on LinkedIn, Pallavi Desai, and then I'll show up. But you can always feel free to ping me on LinkedIn, and then we can have more conversations from there. If you're
Yeah.
interested in learning more about CI/CD pipelines, uh, as I said, my journey was from engineering automation to cybersecurity. So I can dive into any of these topics based on the interests of the individuals.
Okay,
Okay.
that's interesting. Seems you're a proud daughter of your Indian parents.
Definitely, I would think so.
Yes.
Okay, that's interesting. So, thank you
As I
for
said,
coming.
my motto is always staying curious. I
Mm.
just love to learn and explore new things. I just, I'm not a person who can just sit back and say, this is my comfort zone now, I'll just stay here. I always have to find some new things to keep me going.
Mm.
That's interesting and that's impressive.
Yeah.
Definitely, it's a spirit which.
And Gio, to your earlier question, just staying curious makes me look younger too.
Oh.
I can see. I can see clearly. Yeah. Anyways, so thank you for coming on the show. As you can see, we are ending, but it's like we are just beginning to some point. To some point. Yeah, because the conversation has been really interesting and we've picked a lot. So for our listeners who have tuned in, please be sure to subscribe, follow Pallavi Desai on LinkedIn. Definitely, she's a person who will reach out the way she reached out to me. Then we'll start from there, the conversation. For those who want their resumes also reviewed, I'm not sure if she's willing to be looking at everyone's.
Oh,
It'll be,
definitely. I'll
it'll,
try to help as much as I can.
it will be a
Oh,
hi,
thank
then
you.
they'll send you a resume. Please check if it's not
Then I'll just
malicious.
disappear.
Yeah,
No,
so
I mean, jokes apart, definitely I'll appreciate and feel free to ping me, send your resumes, or if you want to know anything about the career or you're trying to navigate through your careers and transitions into different roles, I can
Mhm.
help you navigate through and maybe I can just give some experiences from what I went through that could help you.
Mm.
yeah.
Thank
Yes,
you.
okay. Thank you. See you all in the next episode.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed having this conversation with both of you. It was great. Thank you.
Thank you, Pallavi.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye.